So we've seen now how to use the router link tag to navigate to different pages. And we've set up a route for the home page and the about page. Now I want to set up another route for perhaps a profile page. So imagine that there are many users who sign up to this awesome website, and they each have their own profile, which any other user can view. Now the URL to their profile would look something like this, right? It would be /users, then / some kind of user ID. So this user ID would be interchangeable depending on which profile that you want to view. For example, it could be something like 123 or 456 or something like that, whatever the ID of the user is. Now in each case, we'd still be rendering the same component and the same template, the same layout, but the data output to that component would be different. It would be unique to that user ID parameter in the URL up here. So let's have a look at setting up this kind of route in our application. First of all, what we want to do is create a new component called view profile. So view profile.view. And in here we need a template tag. And inside we'll do a div with a class of view-profile. Okay, now inside there, for now, we'll just do a h2, which says profile. Down here, we'll do our script, where we give this a name property, which will be called view profile. We also give this a data method, which returns that empty object. I like to just do this for every component I make, by the way, just in case I use data on it later. It's there ready and waiting for me. Same with the style tag down here. I just have it prepared if I want to style it in the future. Okay then, so that at the minute is our profile component, our profile page. Very simple. Now let's set up the route for this. So head over to index.js in the router folder right there. Then let's add on a third object. So inside this object, what do we want the path of this route to be? Well, we want it to be something like /, I said users before, but maybe / profile instead, then /, then we want some kind of route parameter, some interchangeable value. So how do we say that's what we want inside one of these route objects? Well, the way we do a route parameter is by saying : and then user_ID. This is the name that I'm giving to this route parameter. It can be called whatever you wish, but it's just : first of all to say that this is a route parameter. It may change, and the user ID. All right, so this means go to profile / whatever, some kind of ID. Okay, so then we want a name for this object, this route, which will be called view profile. And then finally, we need to tell Vue.js which component to load in when we visit this URL, which will be the view profile component. Now, obviously, we also need to import that up here. So import view profile from @/components / view profile. Okay, so now this should work. If I go to / profile / 123, then we should get the profile page. And this can be whatever we want. It can be 567 or something like / Mario. It doesn't really matter, okay? Because we said it can be / anything. Okay, this here, whatever we type here, is the route parameter. Now, obviously at the minute, we're going to all of these different URLs with different route parameters in, and we're still getting the same template. But what we want to do is output some data unique to whatever this user ID is. So how do we do that? Well, when we use route parameters like this, we can access the route parameter inside the component on the route object. So if we head over to our view profile component, what we can do is set up some data here called user ID. Now, it doesn't have to be called user ID. You can call it what you want. And I'm going to set this equal to this, meaning this component, dot route, and a $ before the route. So this right here refers to the current route that we're on. So if we're on / profile / 123, it refers to this route, okay? So then we can access the parameters, the route parameters of this route by saying dot params, then dot the name of the route parameter that we want. We want the user underscore ID. And the reason it's called that is because inside the route file, this is what we named it, user underscore ID. So what we're doing is we're accessing that route parameter from the current route right here. And then we're setting that equal to the user ID object. So now what we can do is we can output this user ID property over here. So we can say profile for, then curly braces, user ID. So if we save this now and view this in a browser, then you can see now it says profile for 123. If I go home and I go to profile /567, then we get profile for 567. Go home again and I'll say profile and then Mario, we see profile for Mario. So all the view router is doing is looking at this URL and it's grabbing this route parameter from the route object. Okay, we're setting this property equal to that and then we're outputting it in the template. Now, what happens if we just go from one profile to another? I'm on Mario's at the minute. If I go to 123, then notice this doesn't update. I'll try this again. I'll go to Yoshi. Again, doesn't update. So why is this? Well, when we try to navigate to a different ID up here, a different user ID, Vue sees that we're actually asking for the same component as previously. We still want that view profile component. So to help optimize performance, it doesn't destroy that component instance. It just reuses it. But obviously that means that it's using the same data since it's not being destroyed and it's not being recreated. Now, if we go to the home page, we're destroying that profile component, that view profile component. So therefore, if we go back to profile and then /345, then it does update because we're recreating that now. Therefore, it sets up the data from scratch and renders it correctly. It's only if we go directly from one profile ID to another that it doesn't work. And we get this issue because we're not ever destroying the view profile component, we're recycling it. Now there is an easy way around this and I'm going to show you that in the very next video.